Thanks very much, Swati ma'am. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. So, yes. Thank you very much, Justice Chandrachud, Professor Jain, members of the Executive Council, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for being here today. It's been such an honor to put together this summit, and Professor Jain has detailed the ways in which we've been able to foster, as was our goal, a well considered dialogue on what it is that we can do to create a more enabling environment for legal professionals with disabilities. In my brief remarks today, I would just like to talk a little bit about the book that we will be launching in some time, which is called It Can Be Done, the IDAP interview series. So I would just like to talk about what it is that led us to make that book and what we hope to achieve out of it. When I was a law student 4 5 years ago and looked out and approached law firms and other employers in the legal profession in the search for internships, I often realized that they knew precious little about what concretely it took to accommodate a person with a disability in their organization. And what this meant was that they would construct out of whole cloth, the notions about what kind of accommodations one would need, and then themselves conclude that they had neither the resources nor the wherewithal to be able to sort of make me fit within their organization. And it was from that string of experiences and from what I heard from other visually impaired and other disabled law students across the country also, that the conviction was born to do whatever little I could to help change that state of affairs. And this book is a step in that direction. Now, while many challenges that lawyers with disabilities face are infrastructural, some are simply attitudinal, stemming from a lack of nothing but a lack of awareness about what a lawyer with a disability, when provided the appropriate support, can do. And in this book, we try to address these attitudinal barriers by sharing actionable insights that have been deployed by 21 legal professionals who we interviewed from 6 countries across 3 continents. We covered such countries as India, Israel, the US, South Africa, Canada. And I would also like to say that the aim was to foster dialogue, break stereotypes, and open new avenues for lawyers with disabilities in India and beyond. I hope that these stories that you will read in the book, and you can purchase it on Amazon Kindle, Professor Jain will share the link in the chat box here, uh, that they will move you, make you question your assumptions, and become and transform you into enlightened allies for the disabled people around you. And as you applaud these stories of grit and determination of the interviewees, I would also urge you to pause and reflect. Reflect on what it is that made it so hard for these people to succeed in the first place, and what we can do to reverse that state of affairs so that stories of this nature become so ubiquitous that we no longer have to celebrate them this way. Thanks very much. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks a lot, Rahul. So, Jen sir and Rahul, both of yours introduction and summing up of the events reminds me of Helen Keller's quote, which has been cited in the celebrated judgment of Jija Ghosh versus Union of India. I quote her: "Some people see a closed door and turn away. Others see a closed door, try the knob, and if it doesn't open, they turn away. Still others see a closed door, try the knob, and if it doesn't work, they find the key, and if the key doesn't fit, they turn away. A rare few see a closed door, try the knob, if it doesn't open, and they find the key, and if it doesn't fit, they make one." Ladies and gentlemen, ILS College, since its inception, is known for such key-making works. This summit is one of such key-making processes for unlocking the inclusive society. So friends, to because Danlami Bacharu sir is not yet still able to join, and so we would start. And our featured program for today is book release, which is authored by Rahul Bajaj just now, which he gave an information about. I would request my colleague Professor Ashish Pawar to take over for the book release function. Ashish sir, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. So, one of the most remarkable things we do as species is we tell stories, and we love to hear them too. And no other stories can be more relevant and fulfilling than the stories of lives of our fellow beings. Stories of ups and downs, of struggles and successes, stories that give us new insights and change our perspectives and attitude to life. It Can Be Done is a collection of 21 such stories of 21 extraordinary humans and their lives. A collection of interviews of 21 disabled lawyers from 6 countries spanning 3 continents and in all spheres of legal profession, academics, advocacy, litigation, corporate, and more, where they tell us about their journey of becoming who they are today in a world that wasn't really their ally. Stories of struggle, despair, and at times disdain, and the stories of courage, perseverance, and incredible strength, all set in an almost entirely ableist world. I invite Principal Dr. Jain to say a few words about the book that we are about to release. Jain, sir. Jain, sir, over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
now
sir.
you are.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
are. You are.
Uh, Dear friends, let me first congratulate Rahul for this very important book. I believe that this book has come at a very right time. It is more than coincidence, I think, that at a time when the international principles and guidelines on access to justice have been rolled out, we have now a kind of empirical evidence by way of this very important book. The book it documents in great details the achievements of the disabled lawyers, disabled judges, and disability academicians. Without taking much time, let me just say one or two things about the book. Let me say that if we want to enable civics, then such books, or at least some chapters from such books, must be prescribed. Along with this book, another book which I would love to prescribe is the autobiography of Haben, whom we heard just in the morning. Besides, I believe that Bar Council of India has to now take up very seriously the fact that disability legal studies is a very important domain, and with empirical evidence through this book, I don't think there is any scope for any skepticism about the empirical value of this subject. So I believe that Bar Council of India must also take cognizance of this important book. And I hope that we will produce many more such books to highlight the achievements of persons with disabilities. I think this book is a work in progress so far as implementation of Article 8 of UNCRPD, because Article 8 of UNCRPD mandates the civil society to not undermine the achievements of persons with disability, but it also mandates the disability community to ensure that they also appropriately raise awareness about their potential vis-a-vis the mainstream community. So again, I congratulate Rahul, and I would like to place on record, Rahul was telling me that two of his friends, Miss Anusha Reddy and Miss Madhvi Singh, they helped him a lot in this venture. So I would also like to applaud them and congratulate them for compiling such a brilliant work. From on behalf of ILS Law College and on behalf of entire disability community, I wish great luck for the success of this book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jain, sir. May I now request Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud to release the book, please.
It gives me great pleasure to release the book. And thank you for giving me this opportunity and honor.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed,
Thank you, sir.
it's our
Thank you
pleasure,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. From the introduction of It Can Be Done, I quote, as you applaud the courage and grit shown by these interviewees, instead of jumping to immediate conclusions about how inspiring they are, I would like to urge you to pause and reflect. Reflect on what is it that made it so hard for them to succeed in the first place, and what each one of us can do to reverse this state of affairs. Unquote. I conclude this part of book release with the hope that with the insights that we had in the 3D International Summit and the stories that we will read in It Can Be Done, we'll make sure we not only structure but we fundamentally change towards our fellow beings and towards the life as a whole. Thank you. Over to you, Swati ma'am.